One of the things that I want to end on was the Hamas trade-off shit that was fucked up. Did you see that shit?
I know they had till Saturday noon to release. I think all I heard was they released a few of them.
So they didn't release
man.
really anybody. They just released the two kids and the mother. So they had a parade.
Oh, the dead bodies.
Yes. So we're gonna go. Let's go ahead and watch this and end it on this. And this is fucked up. This is fucked up. They had a parade, and this should end the story of it's not Hamas. It's not Palestinians. It's Hamas. No, it's the people, bro. It's the people. And let's go ahead and watch this. Now these are the bodies of the babies that they killed. They're two brothers that they killed and the mother.
Hold on. There's a mother and babies in there?
There's the babies in that
one. Like infants? Like infants or babies? Like
no, like babies.
Children?
Like one of them's like a baby and a child, I believe. On top of that, they have celebrity music.
Are those hostages?
Yeah, but they killed them. Now, these motherfuckers, this is pure evil. They've kidnapped a lady and her two kids, two boys, and they said that they died in drone strikes from Israel. That didn't happen. What they died was they got beaten to death by their bare hands, and they didn't get kidnapped by Hamas. You know who they got kidnapped by? Fucking Palestinians that helped Hamas go into Israel, and that's what they did. And they're having a celebration, a parade. Okay, so that's what happened, right? So look at this shit.
All those people are celebrating that shit?
Yes. This is Gaza cheering for the dead Jewish babies. This is Gaza. The rest is propaganda. Yes, this is Gaza. That's what it is. And this is one of the babies. That's one of them. How much of a scumbag do you have to be to kill a fucking innocent child like that? And this is what they had on their poster. God, that makes me mad, bro. It makes my blood boil. So this is what they had on the poster. They're celebrating it, and then this is Netanyahu. They have him as a vampire, and this is a celebration, bro. Look at it. Two kids and this mother. Doesn't that piss you off? So this is the parade of the. How many people are there? Cheering. Okay, let's put it in perspective. They're cheering the fucking the death of innocents. Like these weren't fucking soldiers. They were soldiers. Yeah, these are kids and a woman. So what happened was, now this is even the worst part of it. So they gave them those caskets, right? They were locked. And then when they opened it, they found out the woman, because in Israel, this is where Israel's fucking stupid. Israel exchanged a bunch of killers that they had in their prisons for that family, that mother and those two kids, because they believe that they should have a proper burial, which I respect that. But still, why would you give killers away for dead people? On top of that, what Hamas did was they didn't even give the mother back. They put a dead Palestinian woman in the casket, and when they did the autopsy, they were saying that's not even the mother. So the two kids were the two kids. They gave them back. They killed them like brutally with their like supposedly they killed them with their bare hands. Now the mother's body hasn't came back, and then they said, well, they basically said like, oh, Hamas said, oh, we'll do an investigation and we'll find out where the mother is then. So they know where she's at. They probably killed her, but they're fucking hiding her body. So we know what they're gonna do is they're gonna say, "Well, give us some more of our people,"
Yeah.
and then fucking and Israel will probably fucking do it, which is a stupid policy, but that's what they do. And yeah, man, it's fucked up. Like this innocence death. Now I know innocence dies in Gaza as well, but it says that Trump tells advisors he wants Gaza wiped out after Hamas parades coffins of dead hostages.
Yes.
Mom, 2 young sons, elderly man. I want to see Gaza wiped out. I don't want to see even one building standing. Now, is that a good policy? I can't tell you, bro. I'm not the guy making decisions, but I will say this: when I first see that, I get emotional and I want to wipe them out too.
I'll give you my opinion. So here's the thing. So in that side of the world, compare it. I'm gonna do a small comparison. I'll try to do it fast. The way we're raised, how were we raised? We were raised to, love our family, love our siblings, try not to judge, but we're not perfect. And if you find some religion to love and, follow your religion, and just be a good person. Now, in what I just said, does any of that say to hate anything, hate a race, hate, and want something dead? No. It just says to love. It just Americans have always just. We're gonna have bad people in America, but everyone is pretty much raised to just love and to treat someone better than you want to be treated.
Because we have a lot of Christian values, yeah.
Yes. Now in Hamas, what's the one thing they practice?
Hate
Jews, hate Jews, hate Jews. And so if you have a family, a mom and dad, or a man who marries however wives he wants, what's he gonna teach his children?
Yeah, I mean it's
and what are those children? What are those children going to be raised to teach their children?
Yeah, it's inherent for
sure.
So
it's never going to go away. You're never going to fix this issue. You're never going to fix anything. You can make all these little bipartisan laws. You can do whatever you want to do. So we might get some hate on this one. I think Trump's right on this part.
I think so too, but we're thinking emotionally.
But I'm not. Okay, but I'm not saying wipe mass genocide. That's not ever going to be the answer.
Okay, but I'm going to just say this. That's an emotional response, and I had to catch myself, right? Because emotionally, you see that
you want to do retribution. You want retribution, mass genocide. No, that's never the answer.
I never want mass genocide. It's just I'm like, you know what, you motherfuckers, you want to play games? I'm gonna fucking show you.
Let's go to fucking war. Yes.
And I thought that the same thing because I was telling one of my colleagues, I was like, bro, the first thing I thought when I heard the story, I see that little baby, and I'm like, oh, dude, y'all need to get wiped out. Like y'all motherfuckers need to get y'all need to get wiped out. That's it. And then I thought about it logically. That's not a good way of thinking because but that's the one thing, right? Every time a school shooting happens, everybody thinks emotionally. Everybody goes emotionally. We need to take away guns because the kids. You
got to take a few steps back.
And I totally get it because if my kid had to die from some shit like that, yeah, you're gonna get emotional. But the thing is, yeah, you gotta step back and think logically. That's being an adult, right? Like, that's one thing I don't. But sometimes you got to tell yourself, like, hey, man, I'm thinking emotional. I need to take a step back.
But
let me think logically.
Here's the hard part on this part. If you try to get the innocents out of that country, what's the one thing Hamas does? Hide behind the innocent.
Yeah, and it's terrible.
So where do you? So I
they both have blood on their hands. Israel has blood on their hands.
Yeah, I'm not saying one's better than the other, but I'm
saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying they both have blood in their hands.
On this one issue is, how do you get the innocent out?
I'm sure there's innocent, but it's hard to find which ones can you reprogram.
Because Hamas is going to go straight to. They're going to hide behind the innocent, like they did with the.
It's a fucked up thing, yeah. I think
it's a tough issue, but when it comes down to it, you have two options. Do we keep this biblical war? How you put it last time?
It is, yeah.
Or do we just settle the fucking matter right now and deal with the consequences after? I think settle with the consequences after is the best.
But that's what we did after World War II, and we're dealing with the consequences.
it's going to be one or the other.
No, but I
because
mean, that's what we did.
obviously,
We basically said, all right, we're gonna just displace these people, and then we'll deal with the consequences later, and then we're dealing with them now. So there's
well, then we obviously didn't settle the matter.
yes, and now it's, and the fucked up thing is nobody wants the Palestinians.
No,
Like,
because
they
look what they
use
did.
them. No, but they use them like you have Egypt will use them in certain ways, but they don't want them.
Well,
You have
look,
Jordan will use them, but they don't want them.
look what
You
they
have
do.
Iran will use them, and they don't want them.
It-
And all these people are
if-
doing these things, and it's fucking crazy because there is no easy answer to this whole situation.
There's
Because
no easy answer.
and to be president, dude, this is why I would hate to be, and not like I could even be president, but just thinking about being in that position, to have that kind of, like, even Truman, right, to have that decision, should I drop the A-bomb? I agree with Tucker Carlson. I don't think we should have dropped the A-bomb, but I also see a lot of ways. I mean, Japan was,
He was pressing the matter of
Yeah.
the issue of what had just happened.
but
so.
I still think we could have won without dropping an A-bomb, and then we continue to fucking do A-bomb experiments and hurting a lot of people.
So if you
Those decisions are so hard, and this is why it's, dude. Can you imagine being in charge of those decisions?
Well, this is why he has a cabinet.
Yeah,
he has people to help him with this, because one man cannot shoulder the whole fucking world's problem on top of his own country's problem. One man cannot shoulder that. The only one who can is God, and guess what? He's not going to be a part of this equation right now. So
that's crazy to think that you are the deciding factor of, should this group of people, like, it's just crazy to
think about it. It's
like,
haunting,
dude. I mean, yeah.
So imagine if one president, Truman,
like even George Bush,
imagine how he had to sleep after that.
Oh, bro,
for the rest of his life.
Wonder, yeah, I mean, knowing hundreds of thousands of people,
and it's gonna be in history.
Oh, and your name is gonna be behind it, and that's the question, right? Would FDR have dropped the bomb if he didn't die? And that's the thing, because FDR got his 4th term, he died from polio, and then Truman fucking was at the helm. And would FDR have dropped the bomb? I don't know if FDR would have, and we would be in a whole different fucking existence right now if the bomb was never dropped.
It would have been a whole different world.
Yes, and that's crazy to think about, and it's crazy to think about, like, how the world's gonna look in like 50 years if we're gonna take over Gaza or we're not. And if it is, I mean, how is it gonna look in 50 years? Is it gonna be this fucking, what is it? They called it the like Mar-a-Lago. What they call it? They had a name for it. Something Lago. Anyways, is it gonna be the fucking the Mar-a-Lago of fucking the Middle East, or is it gonna be? I mean, it's a war-torn zone where we're just in this never-ending conflict. I don't know.
So if you were given one day to think about it, what would be your solution to the Hamas solution?
That's too much for me.
But you had one day.
If it was one day, bro, I would be like, hey, man, we're just gonna enter. I would just be like, fuck it, dude. We're just gonna get there. I think I would get to the point, like, these motherfuckers, like, we're gonna free the people. Like, I'm gonna tell the people, hey, and then we're gonna just re-educate them, and not in a way like in a prison camp, but like, you know what, like, Jews, you don't have to hate these people. You don't have to hate anybody, and we're gonna show you that you can live a normal life. You can live a good life, and if they don't want to be a part of it, then fuck it. Like, just go to war, man. Like, I don't know what else to do other than continue this cycle of bullshit over and over. We've been doing this since World War II. What are we doing? Like, the whole
We've just been killing each other since
we're just killing each other, and it's even like after World War II, from 1950 to 1953, we had the Korean War. From 1955, 55 to 75, we're in the fucking Vietnam conflict. We never really settled anything. We've been in proxy wars all over Iran, fucking like Vietnam, Korea. We're just and all over. I mean, South America. You have all kinds of shit that we've been involved in, and nothing's ever settled anything. So what the fuck are we doing? Like, and there has to be a point where we gotta say to each other, and if aliens ever did come down to Earth, I don't know, they're probably fighting each other intergalactically too. And if they're not,
no, those wars are over.
If they're not, then they probably come down here and be like, yeah, y'all are still in this fucking tribal bullshit that's going on. And it's true, yeah. Like, it's, what are we doing? And I don't know. There's no easy answer to any of this shit other than, like, it's like the whole Attack on Titan, Eren Yeager situation.
The rumbling.
People want to kill you. Do you just do the rumbling and annihilate everybody and live in peace, or or is that the wrong way?
Well, if you think about the rumbling,
because eventually they're gonna want to kill you and take everything that you got. I mean, I don't know. Like that's not an easy answer. Eren Yeager had to make that answer.
So the way I see it on that part is that the rumbling had two points to it. Is one, you have to get rid of the evil on one way, but it's going to come at a price. The price of what? Someone's life. So he decided, I'm going to rid the world of the evil, sacrificing my life as paying the bill for it. Now,
but no, he was gonna eradicate everyone that wanted.
His
that
plan was
hated
going to
his
eradicate,
people.
but at what cost? His own life.
Yeah, but at the time he thought he was gonna do that. It wasn't gonna be in his life. Eventually, it was. From what I remember,
you misinterpreted the entire thing. Eren Yeager already knew what was going to happen. He knew his life was going to be. He knew his life was. So that's why I'm saying.
But he was going to do it for his family and friends.
He knew he was going to eradicate the evil by sacrificing his life for it, because that was part of the whole plan. So,
which is noble,
which is very noble. But how do you put that weight on your shoulders, knowing that I'm going to eradicate? My friends are going to hate me. They're never going to understand, but my life is going to be what's going to be given for this.
Yeah, he's gonna. He took out like what 80% of the earth.
Yeah, he boiled the seas, bro. He boiled the seas to get across.
That's crazy.
So when you think about it, I mean, like, yeah, like
was he right or was he wrong in your eyes?
In my eyes, he was right.
He was right. Why do you say that?
What was going to happen if he didn't do it? If the walls stayed up,
I mean, living in hell.
It's going to keep being a cycle. They're still going to keep being. They're going to keep being killed by the Titans. The Titans were always going to keep coming. So Eren Yeager thought of one thing. He thought, I saw this anime a long time ago. So for those of y'all who are watching who are anime fans, please forgive me. I'm going to chop this up. I might fuck this up a little bit. So at the very end, when you remember when damn it, I already forgot the name for the Beast Titan, his brother.
Okay, well, just go into it. Like, so you thought he was right?
I thought he was right because he knew that if he didn't make a change, he had this one chance. He had the gift. If he didn't make a change, it's never going to stop. So either eradicate by sacrificing his life, which he did, or it's just going to keep going. But he already knew what was going to happen. The moment he touched the hand of the royal blood, of the royal family,
dude, that was crazy, yeah.
He caught it all. That's it. He already knew. And when Sid took him back in time, they had little tiny glimpses of them. He spent the entire 18 years with Sid watching everything go down. So he already knew.
The one thing that I appreciated so much about that whole series at the end was like,
I didn't watch the last episode.
Okay, so the one thing
I read the manga, so I already know what happened though.
But the one thing I appreciated the most was at the end, right? Like all this shit goes down, everything happens, and then at the end, people are still forming their militaries and their armies to fucking like still say, oh, we need to protect ourselves. We need to protect ourselves. Yeah. And then I read that the author was saying the reason I did that was because I wanted to show no matter what happens, human nature is always going to be that way. Like there's always going to be one tribe that's going to take over another tribe.
Or evil.
Yes. Like human nature is flawed. And we're always going to fucking see somebody as a threat. And we're always going to take
the Bible says that.
And that's one of the best messages. I was like, holy shit. Cause when you think, I mean, I knew that before. I mean, it's not like you don't know that, but when you see it and then you see it and you think about it more like critically, right? Like, yeah, man, no matter what we do, like you could wipe out 80% of the earth, right? And he wiped out a good portion of it. I forgot how much it was. 80%.
It was the rumbling, bro.
But he didn't wipe out the entire thing that he wanted to. But in the end, we're still fighting each other because just human nature.
Think of a time when there wasn't, in one century, generation, decades, however long you want to say it, when there wasn't war.
There's always been war.
The entire, if you look at the entire history of every culture, doesn't matter if it's on this continent or another continent, everyone's been at war. Maybe not at each other, but it's always been that fucking war. So what does that tell you?
Always at each other.
And no.
Yes, every piece of
No,
land was taken by force.
since history,
Yes.
since they were writing on clay bricks, America was never at war with this country.
Where America was in
No, but
wow.
everyone was at war with somebody.
Yes.
So
No,
what does that tell you about mankind? We just weren't meant to rule a fucking world.
it
Or
tell, it
at
tell-
least together.
it just tells you mankind. I mean, it just tells you like we're flawed beings. Like we are.
Yeah.
Like that's all it tells you. It doesn't tell you anything other than that. Like that's all it is. Like we're flawed beings that always think of self-interest, and we will continue to fucking destroy each other as long as we feel it's as long as we could justify it in our heads and have something better for our own, like your own, like generations later. I know if I take over them, my kids will have a great existence, right? And you're always going to think that way.
But theirs won't. They'll always hate us.
Yeah, there's always for every cause there's an effect, right? I mean, if I do this is going to happen. If I do that, that's going to happen.
But
And that's the way it's always been since the beginning of time. I mean, we've always humans have always found a way to create war, to create fighting. That's just the way it's always been.